What's going on YouTube? My name is KarlosPokemon and welcome to a brand new video. Throughout the years, the Pokemon franchise has produced over 100 total games to coincide with its fantastic, although somewhat head-scratching anime, and awesome trading cards to go with it. But not all of these games were hits, right Zach?
What's up Lumiose trainers? LumioseTrainerZac here. And that's right, there are some games that Pokemon released that were just plain bad. From Pokemon Channel, which all you had to do to basically beat the game was watch TV with Pikachu, all the way to 2006 where we got Pokemon Battle Revolution, which, while a solid game in terms of graphical update from Pokemon Stadium, it lacked the appeal of those titles by being somewhat tied to Diamond and Pearl and lack of tournaments.
Absolutely, and while those games were kind of disappointments, that doesn't mean we haven't had a mass of awesome moments throughout Pokemon's history. There's been plenty of plot twists, character developments, and all kinds of things we've all individually experienced throughout our own playthroughs that are special to us. With that firmly in mind, myself, with the help of the wonderful LumioseTrainerZac, are going to be taking a look at some of the absolute best moments in the Pokemon game. Let's begin.
In the Johto games, once you reach the reception gate on Route 26, you'll notice that the path splits in 3 areas. Victory Road, which leads to the Pokemon League, Route 22, which leads to Viridian City, and Route 28, which leads to Mount Silver. I don't know about you, but Mount Silver is the one that interested me the most since it's a completely new area. But if you try to go there at any point in the game, you'll be told that you're not strong enough to go. It isn't until you collect all the Kanto badges that you're finally allowed to explore this forbidden area. Sure, the wild Pokemon here are at a pretty high level, but the real challenge is at the top of Mount Silver. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I'm of course referring to the epic battle you have with Red. This was completely mind-blowing to anyone who played these games for the first time. You're battling the player character from the original games. You're battling yourself. This is definitely a moment many Pokemon fans will remember forever.
Next, let's discuss Hoenn, or more specifically the Hoenn remakes Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. While these games personally didn't appeal to me all that much story-wise, they certainly didn't disappoint in great moments. Our next moment is where Zinnia finally confirms the long-standing Pokemon theory among fans and got us even more hyped to find out more in future games to come during the Delta episode, along with helping Wally fight off the evil team trying to steal his keystone, visiting the Devon Corporation and all the other madness that ensued as you tried to save Hoenn. Zinnia explains to you at the Space Center that yes, there is in fact a multiverse, a different timeline where Mega Evolution never existed, and I don't know about you guys, but I was absolutely rocked. It was something I hadn't personally thought too much about, but when it was revealed to me for the first time, I had a genuine moment where I had to pause and reread what the dialogue said to digest it all. It was absolute madness to think that everything I personally thought about the Pokemon universe had changed. There weren't just one timeline for Pokemon anymore. There could be hundreds or thousands, or an infinite number of universes in the Pokemon world, which made the possibilities in the future endless.
In Pokemon Ruby, when Team Magma unleashes Groudon, you have to catch it and stop it. The same goes for Kyogre in Pokemon Sapphire. But what do you do when both Pokemon are released at the same time and are having a heated battle in Teutopolis City? First of all, can I just mention how insane that is? Legendary Pokemon are battling each other. The only way to stop them is by summoning Rayquaza. What happens next is really cool. We see Rayquaza fly through the sky and appear in front of Kyogre and Groudon, and ends the battle with a single cry. This was awesome, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time that we got a cutscene in the Pokemon games. It's awesome to see this moment because in Ruby and Sapphire, Rayquaza's just kinda there, waiting for you to capture it. But in Emerald, we finally get to see it do its job as the master of the Weather Trio.
We head back to Kanto for this one of Kanto's very few or possibly only great and shocking moment everyone experienced playing through Red and Blue for the first time. Having spent the entire game running into grunts, even Jessie and James if Pokemon Yellow happened to be your first game, fighting Team Rocket's boss once you had made it through their hideout and later Silphco, only to arrive at the last gym you had to beat and come face to face with Team Rocket's leader once again, Giovanni. It was one of those more simple twists in Pokemon, but hey, it was only Generation 1, and it's still a moment every single fan can remember.
Alright, so you just beat the Elite Four, and you're ready to take on Alder, the champion, when all of a sudden you get there and find out that N has defeated him. Whoa, so I guess N's the champion now. But wait, there's more. He summons Team Plasma's castle to take over the Pokemon League. You just thought you were gonna face off the champion like every other Pokemon game, but oh boy, you were wrong. Black and White shakes things up by having the end of the game be the final confrontation between Team Plasma, at least until Looker shows up. You arrive at the castle, then you're ambushed by the 6 sages, and you think you're gonna have to face all of them, when all of a sudden, the Unova gym leaders show up to the rescue. This was definitely an awesome moment. Before Generation 5, gym leaders didn't do much besides stay at the gym and give you their badge. But Black and White finally got them involved in the story, and it was awesome to see them fighting alongside you. All of this helped Black and White wrap up in the best way possible.
One of our more recent awesome moments in the Pokemon games actually comes from the games people often were saying they didn't want back when they were announced. I'm talking of course about Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Now just a disclaimer, this will contain story spoilers, so if you haven't completed the games for some reason just yet, then jump ahead to the timestamp on the screen now. With Ultra Sun and Moon, the developers had a really tough job to make those games feel like they were worth the $40 price tag, especially with the limited amount of new Pokemon, or rather forms, being added and the task of reinventing a story which was already pretty complete. However, I feel they absolutely nailed it. With the differing story arcs, shortened introduction and the difficulty increases, it really did feel like a different game to me. And nowhere else did it feel more different than when you entered Ultra Megalopolis to battle Ultra Necrozma. That thing is a beast. Easily the hardest battle of Ultra Sun and Moon, and it was awesome, almost as awesome as that battle thing.
In Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, you battle Cyrus at Spear Pillar right before he can achieve his goal. Good for you, the hero has stopped him. But in Pokemon Platinum, Giratina appears and takes Cyrus to the Distortion World instead. He's still trying to achieve his goal, so you're gonna have to go in there with Cynthia to stop him. This was insane because this is the first time in a Pokemon game where you're taken to another world. Yeah, way before Ultra Wormholes and Ultra Space, we had the Distortion World. This was a great way to expand the lore of the Sinnoh region. A Pokemon once thought to have nothing to do with the title legendaries now has its own world that we have to take on. That's cool. This place is weird and it's kinda tricky to go through if it's your first time. But it was a great way to give more development to Giratina, and also introduce the concept of otherworldly travel in the Pokemon games.
Next up is Pokemon Black and White, and this time it's from its very climax. It's when N is defeated and Ghetsis reveals his true plan. This moment was not only great, but in a real step to a different direction. Sure, we've had Giovanni disband Team Rocket in the past because of his defeat, but this was a genuine antagonist having to go face to face with values completely opposite to what he held so dearly and believed in, that not only did the player save the world from an evil team, but through it, he actually managed to have his rival completely rethink what they saw a Pokemon and trainer relationship to be. It was an awesome moment and I just had to include this.
In Pokemon X and Y, we learn of the war from 3,000 years ago, where AZ built a machine to give himself and Floette eternal life and turned it into the ultimate weapon to end the war. Because of this, his Floette leaves and AZ has been looking for it ever since. Now when you first see this giant walking around Kalos for the first time, you're kinda confused. But once you learn the story, it's obvious that this is the same guy who was the king of Kalos. So you wonder, will AZ ever see his Floette again? After you become the champion, there's a celebration in Lumiose City, and AZ challenges you to a battle. Battling you really reminds him of what it's like to love Pokemon, and because of this, we see the return of his Floette. This moment hits you right in the feels, as AZ says his most iconic line, "It's been 3,000 years. You really feel for the guy. It makes you glad that he was able to reunite with his Pokemon and provides a really nice storybook ending to Pokemon X and Y. Now if only we could have that Floette for ourselves.
Just before we get to our last moment of the video, I just want to mention these few moments that I didn't get a chance to go fully in detail with, but were still awesome moments anyway. I'm talking about the moment in Aurus when you ride Rayquaza into space to battle Deoxys, the moment in X and Y when Yveltal and Xerneas come out of the machine, and in Black and White when N arrives with Zekrom or Reshiram depending on your version. Finally, our last but by no means least entry for the best moments in the Pokemon games is from the original Sun and Moon games. These games had an amazing story and it went through a series of moments that unraveled Lusamine as a character and built up to this awesome but creepy as hell moment when she is fused or possessed by Nihilego and goes full on crazy mode. With her hair colour changed and manic look in her eyes, it was something we'd never seen in a Pokemon game before, and it's a kind of moment that I sincerely hope Game Freak tries to match or even outdo in future Pokemon games. This moment was absolutely epic and it just can't be topped. Honestly, of all the Sun and Moon moments that happened in the original games, this one was the one that stuck with me the most. So that's it, that's some of the best moments from the Pokemon games, but as I said earlier, there are some moments we have while playing these games that aren't even scripted in by the developers, so I want you to let me know of some of those down in the comments below. Just some of your absolute favourite moments while playing Pokemon games. I'd like to thank Zach for helping me with this video and for having me over on his channel too.
No problem. It was a lot of fun to relive some of the best moments in the series, but if you want to see which games offer the worst post-game content, well, that's found over on my channel, where myself and Karlos discuss that very subject.
Absolutely, and make sure you guys go on over to Zach's channel and check it out. But for here and for now, I'm afraid that's all we have time for, and all that's left for you guys to do is to hit that like button if you enjoyed it, press that subscribe button if you're new here, and of course I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all next time.